these old pictures from our wedding, back when I was young and beautiful, she says. Oh, Nicky, I don't know what's become of your mother. Like she's a stranger to herself. Like she believes there's nothing left, and I can't think anything except I don't understand what love is if it left her here. They were married under the cherry tree in the garden behind our house. And for years that tree stained hands and jeans and little white heads and made a castle for my sister and for me. And for years that tree held a little wooden swing where I swung up as tall as my father, but the ropes weren't strong enough for the rain, and the swing began to rot, so we took it down. The tree began to rot, so we cut it down. My mother's dress was to her knee, simple and cream-colored. She wore a cherry blossom behind her ear. She remembers being young enough to believe in love, convinced there was enough of him there to love her, and he did. He wore a gray suit, light gray with a pink tie and a broad white smile for his alabaster bride, and all afternoon these pictures remember him to be the perfect gentleman. The house they bought together, repainted together, stripped down crown molding and ripped up old carpet. Together they primed kitchen cabinets and bought sofa sets, made room for a nursery, made room for another. It took a long time. My father always told the story of how he found the house, how he was walking down the street and past the open front door, how he just knew. Laura, he said, it's this house. Of all his homes, he lived there longest, loved there longest, was loved there most. But now her voice is tired over the phone. She's been going through old photos all day, wedding photos. I don't even know who some of these guests are, she says. But I look so happy, so that's all right, I suppose. Oh, Nicky, you must think I was so foolish. No, never. She said she spent this afternoon with my father helping him to set up a digital picture frame in his smoky room. And I know it's the kindness of her own heart that made her give up her lunch break to take him his belated Christmas gift, but she lets out a sigh that says what a waste of an afternoon it was, and I want to tell her she's eligible for sainthood. He was relatively polite, she says, but I couldn't make the pictures go. Who knows if he even noticed. Our house is still full of wedding gifts. The salt and pepper sets, the dish towels, there are leftover bowls and a salad plate that made it through the divorce unbroken. There's a single champagne flute from the wedding toast. Most of it goes unnoticed. A dull butcher knife is the only thing left with both their names on it. Laura and Ty, 1977, scratched on the side in a neighbor's childish print. She talks all the time about replacing it, but she hasn't done it yet. I think my sister will get married one day. I think I'd like to get married one day. I think I'd like to have a wedding, pose for pictures, buy a house, buy a knife block. I think I'll find myself the perfect gentleman. But I wonder about all the romantic dinners eaten on plates now shattered, all the guests my mother doesn't remember. I wonder who bought her ring from my father and where the wedding dress ended up. I wonder where it all goes when you wake up thinking their body is too close, their breath is too hot, feeling what the weight of a baby is when it only reminds you of something you can't fix anymore. There's no engagement story, she says. We just decided it was a good idea to get married. We just decided together one day, and that was that. I know that he loves her still. He loves her more now, maybe, if that were possible. He has heart enough to love everyone endlessly, but he only bothers to love my mother. I had something, he says. Something no one gets, not even the luckiest sons of bitches. Certainly not ugly old niggas like me. And then he talks about something else. All the teeth missing from that broad white smile. He asks me if the cherry tree has buds on it yet. And I remind him that we cut it down.